We're working. We're in the lab, and we're gonna make sure this happens as soon as possible.
Welcome to an episode of the Sports Genes Into the Lab podcast, where sports analysts and experts dissect the latest news from the NBA and NFL, giving you a unique view on some of the hottest topics around your favorite teams. From the fresh field smells of the NFL to the hardwood courts of the NBA, and possibly your comfy couch for your fantasy football team. Let's see what kind of news the lab is working with today. Here's your host from the Sports Analytics headquarters in San Antonio, Texas, Ernest Silva.
Woo, it is Turkey Week here in the States. I'm telling you, I am hyped. We got a lot of football action this week, starting off in a couple of days. But I'm your host, Ernest Silva. Add Into Lab Pod is where you're watching tonight's episode. And of course, I have the wonderful Four Horsemen on the screen in front of you. All World Cup and heavy right now. But let's start with the intros before we do our station identification. That's right. Let's start with my co-host for season 4, Kenny Cotterell. What's going on, Kenny?
Thanks for having me.
Kenny, how are you feeling about the World Cup?
Oh, the World Cup's the greatest event in sports, and I don't care if anyone likes it.
That is the nicest Canadian answer I've ever heard. Let's talk about the other Canadian that might be in the room. That's right, Andrew Consutton at Boomtown Pod. What's going on, brother?
You mean people watch the World Cup in Canada? What an odd concept. Actually, you know what? This year I'll give props. Alphonso Davies and the boys could make some noise. And I like Kenny's shirt. I'll give him props on that one.
Love it, love it, love it. Now, I had somebody else who's watching a different cup, but still on the show for football. That's right. That's just Luke. Luke at Kings of Hearts 82. What's going on, brother?
What's up, guys? Turkey week. Can't wait to just sit back, relax, and watch football from pretty much Thursday to Sunday. Can't wait for that. Two things, though, before I want to get started. Tomorrow, obviously Thanksgiving Eve, one of the biggest drinking holidays in the U.S. for some reason. Don't really know why. So, number one, call an Uber, call Lyft, call a friend, call somebody. One DUI is just enough. You don't need any more than that, or possibly lose your life or cost somebody else their life. Number two, since daylight savings time, obviously it's getting a lot darker, a lot quicker. And it's just a bad time of year with the holidays, constant work, constant rush. If you feel overwhelmed, call a friend, talk to somebody, get yourself out there. My DMs are open if you need somebody to talk to. And also give the suicide hotline a call if you ever feel that bad or you just need somebody to talk to. They had a big switchover. It's just simply call 988 and you'll get rerouted to the suicide hotline. Just remember to reach out to your friends. We just lost one of the Power Rangers, I do believe.
The Power Ranger.
The Power Ranger. This week to suicide. So always check on your friends, always. So it's a huge thing, especially getting into the holiday season. We're all busy. We're all slammed. So just make sure you reach out to somebody this off season and this Christmas season.
That's a fantastic PSA. Thank you, Just Luke. And I completely agree. Do not risk it. Give people a call. You have people that love you. It means a lot. And shout out to the Frank family. I know that is very difficult for them. I follow Jenna Frank, and she is an absolute shambles for her dad. So age of 49, Jason David Frank passed away. I don't know if anybody else has heard about it or if you're just learning
I'm
about
wearing
it.
the green today.
Green, white Power Ranger gone. Way too early. Way too early. Big shout out there. Thank you, Luke, for bringing that up. But of course, here on ITL, we are powered by Blue Collar Media Group. And if you're not familiar with BCMG, we also have a wonderful and amazing stream team. If you're not familiar with the BCMG stream team, we have a wonderful reel that we can play for you right now so you can learn a little bit about that group. Also, big championship tournament, Call of Duty championship tournament happening December 10th, $1,000 prize. If you want to catch all the action, you catch it right here on ITL and the Holy Man's podcast. But let's check out who is on that stream team and where you can find them on Facebook Gaming and Twitch Gaming with this short commercial.
Jill going down the hill. Gonna go fetch Jack in his little pill. Jack feeling down and that's pretty bad. Let's go.
Oh! Yo! Clip that! Clip that headshot!
Nice.
No!
A pistol. What the? Okay, that didn't count.
I got Woo! Let's go, baby! Clutch it up! Yeah, I like it!
What? No way! Did that precision just kill me?
Let's go!
Nice, Papa!
Papa with the clutch kill at the end. Let's go.
Oh, I missed. That was bad.
Got him.
Nice.
Man, I'm going to go steal their shit.
That is definitely orange. Green.
You're dumb and it's orange.
We're both wrong, Red.
I could get that solo if I tried it a couple times, but we'll come back to it.
I'm fucking dick right now. Holy shit. Like, I fucking suck right now.
Yeah, I can tell.
BCMG stream team, you can catch them daily, Facebook Gaming and Twitch Gaming. Go check out all the different ones. The Holy Man, Coach Peanut, Smashly Gaming, Mama Bear. You might have heard some of them. Mannins, one of the producers here at ITL. You can definitely catch them here on ITL and on different BCMG platforms. Check them out today. All right, guys, you're here for the action. We're going to start off with round one. That's right. That's news from around the league. News from around the league. We start off with our own ITL Listener League. That's right. Kenny really wanted to start off with this one today, so I'm excited to start this off. Kenny, you really wanted to talk about the matchup you had this week. Talk to me a little bit. How'd you do this week?
I lost to you by 21.25 points this week.
Yeah, that's right. It was a nail biter. A nail biter. If you're taking a look at the scoreboard here, Kenny, you probably would have beaten most of the other people in this league.
Yeah,
let's be honest.
Second time in 2 weeks I've put up over 150 and lost, so that's where I'm at. And you know, the squad was trying to rally after starting 0-5, and they tried.
It was a battle. It was a battle.
You know, I will hopefully not be the worst in this league. As you can tell by the standings at the bottom, which for some reason you love to just hover over right now, and like I'd be fine if we moved on, but right. I'm at 3-8 and we got 2-9. Daniel didn't set a lineup this week, so like that's not really saying a lot for me. He scored 54 points this week, so I don't think that's really showing that, you know, he's the worst in the league as much as he's stopped caring, and I'm still grinding away losing.
That's right. That's right. And I don't know if Steve set a lineup again, even though he was doing really well in this league. I think he was 5-3 at one point. Now he's 5-6. But yeah, so he's lost 4 in a row.
Well,
so
I was too busy getting ready for Blue Collar Game Day, so I get it. Like he's got things going on, but you know
that makes sense.
It's very that statement of being 3-8 but keep grinding. It's very Detroit Lions of you, and I like it.
You know, like what's upsetting is looking at the teams ahead of me and the fact that they have less points than me, and just knowing that, you know, I've been scored on a lot.
Ouch!
Just like
I'm one of those.
Detroit Red Wings, the Detroit Lions. The Pistons, the Detroit Tigers in baseball. I don't know if they have an MLS team, but I assume they're bad. I'm Detroit.
For those of you just watching, if you have those fantasy football questions, this is when you plug them in as we go through fantasy. But if you do play fantasy football, just FYI, no team is on bye this week. That's right. Hallelujah. If I had a producer, this would have already been played, but
give me a hell yeah.
That's right. Full teams in effect for this week. So play everybody you possibly can that gives you high points. Let's talk, though, about off the fantasy train. Let's talk about real football. We, three of us on here at least, really got to enjoy the Sunday game. The Dallas Cowboys, America's team, won 40-3 against the Minnesota Vikings in a game where the 8-1 Vikings were the underdog at home against the Dallas Cowboys. We talked on this show. We said it was a game of the week. It absolutely was for us, even though it's probably the least exciting game most people could probably watch. I'll start with you, Kenny. Kenny, what is your takeaway from the Dallas Cowboys this past Sunday?
My takeaway is that every team in the league is going to have 1 to 2 weeks where they just don't have it. And Minnesota had theirs, unfortunately, against a very good football team. And Dallas just was clicking on all cylinders, and that's why we saw an absolute blowout. And I mean, once they were up 30-3, everyone knew that it was over, and then the game kind of just like lulled you to sleep. So I don't know. It's not an indictment on the Vikings long term. They're still a good team. They could still host a home playoff game, potentially go further in the playoffs as well. And Dallas is just a good team that had a great week. So I think these are two of the top 3 or 4 teams in the NFC still. And, you know, they'll be there come playoff time.
Andrew, definitely going to you for your take on the game. I also want to know, is Micah Parsons leading defensive player of the year candidate for you?
Yeah, I think at the moment, I think the way that he's played out of his mind, essentially, and how much, I mean, the thing is, the league has talked him up a ton, but he has backed that up every single week. Now, teams are double teaming him. Minnesota tried. It just didn't work. That O-line was getting absolutely ambushed, which is a great, actually, segue, because I was going to talk about Dorrance Armstrong and how awesome he's been this year, stepping up in key parts as well. Providing 9 sacks. Like, who would have saw that coming at the start of the year when we lost Randy Gregory, right? Like, who was going to fill Gregory's position?
Absolutely.
It's been Dorrance Armstrong. So DeMarcus Lawrence got in there again, which is good to see. He's been battling an ankle injury, I do believe, the last couple of weeks. So good to see him come off the line. It was just defensive genius strategy from Dan Quinn. Honestly, he played coached a terrific game. And honestly, our offense clicked. It looked good. The run game was solid. Obviously, both backs had a tremendous game. And if you're fantasy relevant, both of them were great. And yeah, I mean, I love Mika. I think he is right now Defensive Player of the Year. People are going to argue with me on that. I know that for sure. But yeah, I think he's definitely the leading candidate at the moment.
And so I'm going to turn a little away from the Dallas Cowboy fandom, right? Luke, you got to watch this game. You've seen the tape. You see how good Dallas was. So for some reason, Dallas just in the last few years have just had Minnesota's number, quarterback or not, right? To you, what kind of statement game was this for Dallas? Was this more about how bad Minnesota really is?
I think it just finally caught up to them. That they just can win every single one of these games. They looked tired. Minnesota did. They looked out of sync. I mean, but I give credit where credit's due. Dallas defense did step up. They played a very good game. Tony Pollard is showing he can be a number 1 in this league. He had 189 total yards with 2 touchdowns. I mean, it was a great all-around showing for the Dallas Cowboys, and I think it was very needed. They haven't been world beaters so far, but I think that was a get-right game for the offense and the defense, and it was kind of a this is what we can be type of game if we play the great defense that we know we can play and the offense is clicking the way it should be. It was kind of like a, hey, we can be this team if we need to be, which they need to be. There's no if. They need to be that team every Sunday.
So interesting stat lines, right? Dallas is undefeated since 2018 when leading after the first quarter. I think that speaks volumes about how the Cowboys offense is put together. Love the takes, love the points, right? Balanced offense, balanced defense, balanced special teams. The first time I think I've seen Dallas have a complete 3-way balanced talent, fully engaged, confident team, right? I mean, we've seen Dallas have a really great offense for the first half of the 2010s decade, terrible defense, right? Then it kind of flipped. The defense was the focus, winning the trenches, and they couldn't keep special teams from fumbling the ball, and special teams was terrible, couldn't keep a kicker. Now, even Brett Maher looks fantastic. And
what a comeback.
And the defense, top 3 in the league, and the offense, when Dak is on, top 3 in the league, in my opinion. I'm biased. Top 10 at least for both sides. So if you look at this group, right, this is a Super Bowl caliber group. To me, honestly, this looked like an audition on Sunday. This looked like an audition, like OBJ, come fill the last wide receiver spot. Let's make a run. That's what it seemed like to me. Giants completely were terrible this weekend. And so you have OBJ picking between Giants and Cowboys. It's almost like, what's the decision? Unless you really, lay a goose egg on Thanksgiving Day, which we'll see that in a couple of days. But guys, OBJ, in your opinion, does that move the needle for you for Dallas, or is that a moot point? Dak doesn't really use all the wide receivers anyways. I want to get that take before we move on. I'll start with you, Luke. Does OBJ move the needle for you for Dallas?
I don't know how healthy he really is. He can say all of the stuff on social media. He can tease everybody on social media. But the fact is, he hasn't touched the ball since last February. And realistically, I don't think he's had enough time in the offseason to really make sure that knee is completely healthy. This is the second tear in the same knee. And that's very concerning, especially with a wide receiver of his caliber. Now, I'm not saying he's not coming in for veteran minimum money. He is not. And I just don't see how it could work. I really don't, especially right now. And I just don't want to take a flyer on a guy that he could step on the field right now and blow his knee completely out again, because he doesn't look like he's in football shape right now.
I mean, honestly, Jerry showers at 20, so I'm not even sure if money's an issue. But I think the offer is like 1 for 7.8, right? 1 for 7.8 million, something like that. So that's what's on the table. For you, Andrew, does it move the needle for Dallas?
I mean, having the veteran leadership can't be bad on that receiving core. It's a very young core. And I mean, realistically, Michael Gallup hasn't really been the same receiver. And I guess he's coming off the same kind of situation OBJ has. I do really like Noah Brown a ton. I think he's underutilized in this offense. He made a huge catch against Minnesota. But I could see Jalen Tolbert getting put on the practice squad, freeing up a little bit of cap room. I mean, I know that Dallas is pretty tight against it, and it's a rookie deal, but he'll probably get put on the practice squad, freeing up that position. And I could honestly see an OBJ and Noah Brown slot kind of switch, which means OBJ doesn't have to play a ton of snaps and can continue to get into game shape. I mean, come playoff time, look what he did for LA. I mean, it's obvious they miss him in that lineup right now. Tell me they don't. So yeah, I think it's a veteran presence. I'm okay with the $7 to $8 million figure. It's a try me deal. Is he going to go to New York? He really could. But I think this Thursday is the game where if the Cowboys lay the smack down like they just did this week, OBJ goes, yeah, this is my team. If Giants whop us, then maybe he goes to the Giants route. I think this game comes down to who wins.
Kenny, I'll end you for the 30 seconds there.
I mean, it all matters opportunity for him. I mean, why do you want to go and be wide receiver 3 in Dallas? And then that probably earns you a couple-year deal from another team, maybe not on the money end that you want. Or do you want to go to the Giants, prove that you can be the number one there, maybe get a bit of a long-term extension? I don't know. I don't think that he moves the needle for either team, quite frankly. I think he'll be fine, but he's good for 1 or 2 weeks, maybe one playoff game, but he's not going to be like a long-term success or anything for either team.
I think if you're Jerry, though, right? I mean, you're thinking
easy money.
I mean, that's where I'm at with it. I mean, you just throw it out there. He's chasing a ring. It's the ring for him, and for Dallas, they want that next title right before Jerry croaks. Like, that's the whole thing.
It's not as if they have a bad core right now, anyway.
No, this team is true. This team is good offensively. Like I said, they're very, very sound. But having that veteran leadership on this wide receiver core, where the most experienced guy is 2 years deep.
Are you also looking, though, to bring in a guy who for part of his career was a bit of a diva and maybe looking for a bit more? Like, do you really want to disrupt that locker room with where they're at? Or do you want to roll with the fact that you have good wide receivers? You're coming off your biggest win of the season with a good defense, a solid 1-2 punch in the run game. Like, why disrupt that by bringing in a bit of a volatile guy?
You got bitch smacked by Green Bay the week before. Like,
historically, they don't beat Green Bay.
I know, but they should have won that game, and they were awful. And again, that comes down to them only targeting CD. If you watch that game and watch the highlights, he was only throwing to CD. So I think having OBJ presence helps CD a lot. But I don't know. I agree with a lot of things that you guys are saying. The rehab knee, I again agree with Luke. I don't know if that's the best case scenario for the Cowboys. I just look at what he did when he came to LA and he was calm. He wasn't a diva. He played a lights out position for him. He was wide receiver 3 on that team, and he was lights out in that position. So I think it works out.
That was a big injury ago, is all I'm gonna say. So
yeah,
That's
absolutely.
True. That's true.
It's
That's fair.
risk. It's 50-50.
And if there was a corner that had the same impact, I'd be preaching that way more than I would be another wide receiver. So just throwing that out there. Let's talk about a little bit of an injury update, fantasy implications. If you still believe in him, he's out. IRs for Kyle Pitts. He's out for the season. Disappointing if you spent a second or third rounder this year on him. I'm sorry. That means your fantasy season is probably not going well. So wish you luck as you go into offseason. Hopefully it's a keeper league. You can think of other avenues you want to go to. Let's open up to a rival of the Dallas Cowboys, the Philadelphia Eagles, since their bye week has struggled a bit. They lost to Washington, and they were losing for about 58 minutes in this past Sunday. So if you're watching this game, and the Eagles pulled it off, right? So they won 17-16 against the Indianapolis Colts on a game-winning drive. If you're watching this game, the rest of the league, you got to be thinking, okay, there's something happening. Every media outlet wants to talk about how bad the Eagles are. Kenny Cotter and myself are not on that train. So I'm going to start off with Kenny on this one. Kenny, are the Eagles really struggling, or is this just a couple of weeks off a blip on the radar?
I mean, it's a mid-season lull. You've had it easy. Then you get slapped around in a division game. Then you go into an indie building, yes, with an interim head coach, but one that the players are motivated to play behind. You don't have your best stuff, and you still pick up a win. I mean, they're still 9-1. They've got games to correct the ship come playoff time. There's still a top 5 roster in the entire league, a top 3 roster in the NFC for sure. I mean, I think they're fine. They still have one of the MVP candidates of the year in Jalen Hurts at the QB position. They've got a good run game. They have weapons. Like, I'm not worried about Philly long term. I just think that at this point they're maybe on cruise control a bit. Maybe this Indy game wakes them up a bit as they head in to taking on Green Bay at home. But I'm not worried about Philly long term. They're still going to be the 1 seed in the NFC for me, and they'll be getting a bye week come playoff time.
Yeah, I completely agree. Just to piggyback off what Kenny's saying, like, I think the Eagles, there's some holes, right? Like, you figure it out. Washington exploited a little bit, and then you come back and you find out, hey, we need to make some mid-game adjustments. We have to tidy up, maybe switch in personnel on defense, and all of a sudden the Eagles team has some holes. I don't think it's indicative of how, permanent the Eagles may have holes. I think they'll fill them by the time playoffs come. They keep adding more star name players, like Ndamukong Suh now is an Eagle. I mean, it's like what the Rams did, right? Like, let's just keep piling on names and fill up the roster with star talent.
Animals.
Andrew, how do you feel about the Eagles' recent struggles?
Hey, let's not forget, I took the Commanders to beat the Eagles, and I took the Colts, and it ruined my perfect record.
I know.
This week. Pisses me off so much. But I mean, if I'm the Eagles, I'm a little bit concerned. Like, I mean, I understand what Kenny's saying. Jalen Hurts, MVP year. He's playing lights out. AJ Brown has been lights out. The thing is, secondary receiving hasn't been all that great. Devontae Smith has dropped a couple of balls at big times. Hasn't been the guy that we've seen in college, right? I mean, the run game, Miles Sanders in the red zone, pretty money. But besides that, he doesn't have a lot of elusive breakaway speed. Boston Scott's been the guy who seems to be the guy on necessary downs, which is kind of crazy. If I am the Eagles, and I get what you're saying, stockpiling on guys with names, they looked better. They look better against the run, especially the guy like Jonathan Taylor. But you barely beat a 38-year-old Matt Ryan, who has been absolutely beyond average for the past 4 years, and they almost beat that Philadelphia Eagles squad. I think I agree with Kenny. They got bitch smacked a little bit, and now they got to back it up somehow. And they did have a very easy schedule to start up the year, but now all the other teams that they've already beaten have to play them again, like the Cowboys on Christmas Eve, with a healthy roster. I mean, if I'm the Eagles, let's pick it up a little bit here. And Nick Sirianni, stop doing dumb shit at the end of games, please.
There you go, Luke. 30-second take.
First of all, Nick Sirianni's a douchebag. Okay, he fits Philadelphia perfectly. He's a douchebag. Number two, They can't run the ball unless it's Jalen Hurts. They cannot run the football, and that's not a good sign heading into the coldest part of the year and where you need to have a running game. I'm not really that concerned. It just proves to me that Miami Dolphins team will never be touched ever. There will never be another team that'll go 17-0. The NFL just proves to be that every week that it's just never going to happen again. But if I'm Ndamukong Suh and Linval Joseph, who I didn't even know Linval Joseph still played football, I mean, congrats. I mean, why not chase that last ring, fellas? Congrats.
Yeah, I completely agree. And speaking of not being able to run the football, let's go to one of our toss-up questions before we get to our final topic. That's right. Bigger story, guys. Give me your one-word answers and maybe a small reason why. Bigger story, Melvin Gordon getting cut or Darrell Henderson getting cut today. Andrew, who's the bigger story for you?
Henderson, without a doubt. It's very, very awkward because, I mean, like 2 weeks ago, we were talking about Cam Akers being released and Darrell Henderson being the #1 running back in LA. And I'm like, okay. Shit. And then Akers doesn't get cut, plays 14 snaps or carries, and gets 61 yards this week. And I'm just like, what the hell is happening here? And then Melvin Gordon, his career's over. I mean, it is what it is. He just inopportune fumbles at big times, especially with the Broncos in the red zone this year. He just hasn't been the Melvin Gordon of old, and it's I don't know, writing on the wall type of thing for him.
Luke, bigger story for you?
Neither one, because honestly, I didn't know Darrell Henderson could even still play football, and Melvin Gordon. I mean, what possesses you to think it's a good idea to Photoshop yourself into the picture of in the white Bronco and OJ running away from the cops? Please tell me how that is an okay thing to do.
It's a metaphor.
Yeah, for him catching a DUI. Yeah, that could be a metaphor. I mean, what else do you want? He's like, oh, these fans were awful to me. You fumbled the ball, my guy. Like, that is your one and only job. Run the football, hold on to the football, carry the football. That's your only job, bud.
We have a live
fumbled the ball.
Yeah, we got a live response of what Melvin Gordon thought when he was told that.
What? Bro, what are you talking about, man?
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I'm talking you fumbling the bag. You probably fumbled that phone trying to post that thing on Instagram.
What? Kenny, bigger story to you?
Neither matter.
Yeah.
Like,
count
all.
Yeah, the biggest story for me is probably going to be Melvin Gordon. He probably ends up an Eagle. All right, let's move on. Are these teams dead? I just need one-word answers. Yes, yes, no, no. Yes, no, yes, no. Just give me your thoughts. Are these teams dead and not making the playoffs? Jets, Giants, Cardinals, Packers. All right, let's go around the room. Luke.
Yes. Oh my God. Man, that's tough. I'm gonna say no and no.
All right, 2 yeses, 2 nos. Andrew.
No, yes.
No, yes. So it's backwards, inverse directly.
It's tough.
And for those taking notes, listening to the podcast.
What?
All right, let's go, Kenny.
Jets are alive. Giants are alive. Cardinals are dead. Packers are alive.
There's the different answers all the way around. I'm going to say Jets are dead. Giants are alive. Cardinals dead. Packers
They're not dead when Joe Flacco starts this week.
Stop it.
Wow.
He can't be any worse than Zach Wilson.
What are you talking about? He scored 3 points. It wasn't his fault.
I mean, it may be funny to you, motherfucker, but it's not funny to me, okay?
It's not funny.
Also, the Giants can't be dead. They're 7-3. They probably already made the playoffs in the NFC. 7 wins probably gets you in.
That's probably.
The Cardinals are dead because Cliff Kingsbury is trying to pick out which college campus he's going to be on next year. And Green Bay aren't dead because, once again, you just have to probably win 7 games, and they still have a lot of division games left.
If the Cardinals just really upset with Call of Duty. Like, let's just be honest. If there was no Warfare
Call of Duty Kyler joke? Fuck, that's so original.
If Modern Warfare 2 did not come out this week, you know he'd be in Mexico City. You know
he's concussed. He's concussed.
Let's go to our final topic of round one. Cordero Patterson had the kickoff return for a touchdown. 9 all-time leader for kick returns, a touchdown. We're going to watch that clip in just a moment. But while we watch it, the question came up in many different threads. Is he the GOAT? Is he the greatest of all time kick returner? I knew Andrew was going to go yes on this. So I am more than willing to hear you out, Andrew. I'm an absolute no. Devin Hester is the GOAT for me. But let me hear your thoughts, Andrew, while we play the clip. Go ahead.
Okay, so here it is. Devin Hester is the all-time kickoff guy. I'm talking strictly punt returns. Cordero Patterson is untouchable. The guy is literally 6'4", 230 pounds, and can't get stopped. It's incredible what he's able to do, and how fast a big body like that is able to read holes is insane. Like, Cordero Patterson failed as a wide receiver, which is nuts to me. What happened? They transitioned him into a punt returner. What happened? Now he leads the league of all time in punt returns. And, oh yeah, he's a pretty damn good running back now too. This is why I'm saying Cordero Patterson is the best punt returner of all time. Devin Hester is the all-time greatest kickoff returner.
Opposite.
Okay. So that wasn't exactly the question, but I get where you're going with that. So, Kenny, is it even close for you?
I mean, like, Patterson takes it to the house, sure, but I don't know. I think Hester has just done more over his career as an all-around returner. So I'll be honest, I don't really care either way.
That's fair. That's fair. Luke,
they're kick returners. It's great for the 1 or 2 times a year that they do it.
There you go.
I'm taking Hester. No, I can sleep with a clear conscience after that. And honestly, I'm taking Josh Cribbs over Cordero Patterson.
Well,
I am.
And Andrew's rolling in his seat.
I would take Josh Cribbs over Cordero Patterson.
You know what? It's fair. And I am a Hester guy, so nothing will replace the Super Bowl memories of the kick return for a touchdown to start the game.
100%.
So creative.
Also, don't forget the guy that has almost double the kick return yards that Cordero Patterson does, in Brian Mitchell. All-time kick return yards leader at over 14,000 kick return yards.
There you go. You learn something new every day.
My fact is, Devin Hester was 5'10" and 170. Cordero Patterson is 6'3", 230. That's why he's the best. Good luck stopping a freight train. Devin Hester was incredible because he was so small and elusive. I could also say Darren Sproles was really good at kick returns too.
True.
Not touchdowns all time on kick returns.
Yeah.
Let's go. If you're listening, you're about to hear a lot of music. If you're watching, let's to show you why we say hashtag better together at BCMG as we go into our way too early NFL ITL pick'em right after this commercial break.
Happy Thursday, y'all. Happy Thursday.
I'm your host, Andrew Kahn. This is the Boomtown Pod.
Add into the lap pod is where you're watching today's stream.
Stuck him!
It is Blue Collar Game Day. I am your host.
I got a kill!
Yes! Welcome to episode 277 of the Official Butthole Podcast.
Get him.
Got him.
Beautiful.
Better together.
Better together.
We're better together.
Better together.
Better together.
That is right. Blue Collar Media Group, better together. If you ever want to have your own podcast, show, streamer, content creator, be a part of Blue Collar Media Group, DM us today. All of us on screen. You've seen our handles. We'll repeat them at the end of the show. Add into Lab Pod is where you're watching today. Let's move on. We are going to round 2. This is what you're here for. It always says week 7 for some odd reason. ITL NFL Pick'em week 12, I think is where we're at. Week 12. Week 12 is where we're at. We're going to start off with Turkey morning. That's right. The Detroit Lions will be playing against the Buffalo Bills, who actually beat them home. They've been in Detroit for quite a while. Bills 10-point favorites on the road. You're getting ready to scarf your face. And Luke, who are you taking in this game?
I don't know about 10. Not with that Bills offense lately. I'm going to take the Bills, but Lions cover 10, especially on Thanksgiving. The Lions love playing on Thanksgiving. So I could see the Bills pulling it out, but Lions cover that 10.
Yeah, there was a fancy stat last year that said the spread does not hit 72% of the time. I wonder what happened after last year's games. I'm guessing it's in the 60s. Kenny, who you have in this game?
Buffalo by 20.
Buffalo by 20 is Kenny.
I'll play it alt line minus 19.5 on Thanksgiving Day.
Wow. Wow, he's very confident in that. Andrew.
Bills win, don't cover.
I don't even care if I get it wrong. I'm just going to play it.
Playing some pretty.
They might score 50 points. Like, you want to get right game? Go play the Lions in Detroit.
It's not wrong. It's not wrong. Detroit has been playing very heartfelt football, right? They're trying to make, and I think Jamison Williams was activated. So
yes, activated him today. So it looks like he's on track to play in this game, which is
the second most relevant Williams in this offense.
Fact. I mean,
very true.
Love to the other Williams.
Jamal having a LeGarrette Blunt type year.
Crazy.
If you are new to the show, I didn't even think about this. I am taking Buffalo to win this game and not cover, so I'm taking Buffalo money line. If you are new to this show and you're not sure what we're talking about, right? The ITL Pick'em covers spreads for 5 primetime games have spreads. We try to look at what the spread is for the week and then try to guess it really early on. Right now, the standings will show where we're currently at. Now, Boomtown has been making a huge push in the last couple of weeks, but I still lead with 99 wins. And then Steve the General Reisner at 93, Boomtown at 93 as well, but they have 1 bye week already taken. Kenny's in there at Comp Hedge 92, and Dre, Josh, and Just Luke at the bottom, but Just Luke is at 76 with 2 bye weeks, so that's not indicative of where he's at. He's a couple weeks behind. So if you see that we have a lot of implications this week, I'm taking Detroit to win, but I'm sorry, Buffalo to win and not cover. And that takes us to the turkey game of the week that we're calling it here on ITL. That is right, your Dallas Cowboys. Dallas Cowboys 9.5-point favorites against the New York Giants in a spread that's mean turkey is going to be a lot of food and not a lot of football. Andrew, you start this one off.
All right, let's get into the Beckham Bowl. All right, so I'm going to stick out. Cowboys win this game. They don't cover because the Giants always seem to have our numbers when it comes to spreads. So I'm going to go Cowboys win, but don't cover.
Backdoor cover is the same for me. Dallas wins this game. Backdoor cover by the Giants. And I mean, like, right on the money. I think it's a 16-point game with a last-minute touchdown, making it 9. I think it's going to be really still a good spread for Dallas. Touchdown comfortable for me if you wanted to take it. Let's go to Luke.
I'm telling you, I'm going to take the Cowboys, but don't fuck around.
Thank you.
Right?
Thank you.
Just play your game, get the business done, go home, eat some turkey. All right? Like, don't even give them a shred of hope of being into this game because I can't name a wide receiver on their team right now.
I've got you, Luke.
Fact.
I've got you, Luke. I've got you.
As you can see, the more you fuck around, the more you're going to find out.
That's the damn truth.
It is 100%. Like, put your knee on their throat, put them out. Done. Be done with it by halftime. But Cowboys win. But 9.5. Like,
that's deep.
I'll take it this week. Why not?
There we go. There's a big cover right there. And if you are paying attention for Kenny, that's right, Kenny. Who are you taking in this game?
Dallas alt spread minus 13.5.
Oh my gosh.
Parlayed with Buffalo minus 19.5. That is my Thanksgiving parlay.
And if you are watching, you already know what's about to ring in. That's right. We have a double. That's right. BCMG Guarantee. Get those fingers in the air and wave them like you just don't care. BCMG Guarantee times 2. Buffalo money line, Dallas money line. Do we want to alt spread these to where we feel comfortable? Are we good with Dallas minus 7?
I'm okay with 7. Even 6. I think I would be okay with 6.
Minus 13.5.
I'm good with 6.5.
I said 13.5, so I think I'm good.
Are we good with both Buffalo and Dallas at 6.5?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, very comfortable with those.
Let us roll with that. We have 2 BCMG Guarantee parlays. If you're not sure what the parlay is, BCMG parlays, we put all these picks together. Kenny is tabulating them on the side as we go through
Plus
them.
700 for my 2-teamer. Just place $25 on it for Thanksgiving.
There you go. Kenny is cutthroat and doing really high alt spreads. We're doing 6.5 on both, and Kenny will keep track of those. We move to Turkey prime time, and if you heard prime time and you see Vikings, you immediately are going the other way for most. Vikings 3-point favorites at home versus the Patriots, meaning they're just giving them home field advantage for this game. That it's pretty even. I'll start this one off with Luke. Luke, who do you like in this game?
Neither one of these teams, honestly. I don't really like this game at all. I know it's the late game, but I don't really like it because the Vikings, I just don't know how they're going to bounce back after that performance.
Short week.
Was pretty bad. Now you're coming back on a short week against, I don't know what the Patriots. I don't know what the Patriots are either. So I think this is going to show what this Coach O'Connell has in this Vikings team. I'm going to take the Vikings, and I'll take 3.
Vikings -3 is the first pick for Luke on the ITL Way Too Early Info primetime pick. Let's go, Kenny.
I mean, it's a tough one. You got the defensive player of the year and, Matthew Judon on the one side. And
oh, my gosh.
The Patriots, they are a top 5 team in the AFC very clearly by their 6-4 record. And so I'm going to take the Vikings -6.5.
Oh, he also spread higher to Minnesota -6.5. Andrew.
I might chip in $25 to this contribution of these high spreads. If it's fuck, I could use that money. Realistically, I think the Vikings will win this game. The Patriots, they just listen. I know Matthew Judon is everybody's praising him and hyping him as Defensive Player of the Year. He's having a great year. He's not doing what Mika Parsons.
Everyone,
he's having a great year. 12.5 sacks is nothing to laugh about. That's pretty damn impressive. But honestly, that game against the Jets was just like, I don't even
2,000 boys.
5 seconds left.
For all 3.
That's how it ended. So I'm gonna go with the Vikings. They should cover at -3.
And that puts me in a very precarious situation. So let's go ahead and start the meeting. We're not going to stop there. That's a BCMG guarantee. That is right. Minnesota -3. Put those fingers in the air and wave them like you just don't care. Minnesota -3 is our third ITL primetime pick. Add that to your guarantee. Kenny is tabulating as we go along.
I'm not tabulating your parlay. I'm just placing my own.
He's going to keep catching up on that. That takes us to Sunday Night Football. We go to those struggling Philadelphia Eagles -7 versus the Packers, the 7-point favorites at home. Kenny, talk to us about your pick and why.
Man, who cares about this game? The Packers will probably cover because they're at home, but the Eagles will win this game, I think. And then, I probably won't even watch Sunday Night Football, I'll be honest. My wife will. I don't have anything else. You can take it off the screen. Or just leave it there.
No, Kenny, the world wants more. Andrew.
Yeah, I'm gonna roll with the Eagles, but I don't like -7 because the Packers have been playing a little bit better of football as of late in the last couple of weeks. So it's kind of do or die for the Packers too. So this could be a big game for them. But I'm gonna roll with the Eagles in this one. But I would say like -4 or -5. I don't think it's -7.
Andrew, not as confident. Just Luke.
14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20. Okay, so the Packers are 21st against the run, and the Eagles haven't been able to get the running game going with Miles Sanders. So hopefully this week they'll get it going. So I'm going to take the Eagles. Packers to cover in Lambeau, though.
All right, that is 3 Eagles picks, and you can just put those fingers in the air and wave them like you just don't care all over again. We've had 4 games, 4 guarantees. What are we all spreading this to? 3.5?
2.5.
I would way more comfortable 2.5 or 3. But I also would say this: like, I don't want the Eagles to fucking win.
Oh my gosh, here we go.
want them to win. I really don't. Obviously, for Cowboys factors, if we're picking the Cowboys to win too, I want them to win the goddamn division. So, yeah. Damn it. Go
Sunday night football. We have 4 BCMG guarantees. We are not a variety show, as you can tell. Monday Night Football is our final primetime pick for round number 2. It is the Colts, 2.5-point favorites at home against the Pittsburgh Steelers. We start with just Luke on this game. Luke, you're going to really kind of set the tone. How do you feel about the Steelers on the road?
Oh, man.
Fraud. Just kidding, Luke. Just kidding.
I mean, no.
You would have had to be something before to be a fraud.
I guess that's true.
It is just so.
It may be funny to you, motherfucker.
Just kidding, Kenny.
It's just so brutal that everyone in creation can see that Matt Canada needs fired, except Mike Tomlin and except Art Rooney. Like, it is just that much of a shit show right now, and it's just I feel so bad because Kenny's not playing bad football. He really is not. He's not turning the ball over the last couple of games. And Najee Harris is finally running downhill and finishing runs, which was huge for him because I think that Liz Frank was still bothering him even before the bye. And I think even after the bye now, he's running better. I'm not going to say he's back, but he's running better with the team.
17-yard touchdown was good.
George Pickens is a freak, and like that was a good pick for them. He's doing okay for what has been presented to them. The Steelers' offensive line is just not good. From center to tackle, they're just not good. And they have Pat Freiermuth, who arguably can be one of the best tight ends in football, and they just refuse to use the middle of the field and use his talents, and it's epically frustrating. And especially when the other team comes out after the game and says the Steelers just love running the same play over and over again. That's so embarrassing.
It's got to feel good.
It's just so embarrassing to me. Like, I haven't seen a Steelers offense be this bad in my lifetime, and that's saying something. That's a long time, and I just don't know the direction of this team right now. If the season ends right now, we have the 8th, 22nd, 38th pick in the draft, and every single one of those picks goes to offensive line, D line, and a number 1 corner. It is what it is, and I hate Steelers Twitter so bad right now. Yeah, I mean, everybody's running for the razors, and they don't even want to talk about football anymore. They just want to just move on with their lives, and it's just frustrating to be a Pittsburgh fan right now of just generally any sport, which is hard to say for me right now because I haven't said that in 28 years of life, so that's great. But this game, I don't know. You got Jeff Saturday, who hasn't actually been okay. Like, they want to play for him, so I think that's a huge factor, especially for that. I don't even think Vegas really knows how to peg this game. I really think it's just because the Colts are at home. That's why they're favorited right now. I think I saw enough last week. I think the Steelers can actually win this game. Convincingly? No. Can they absolutely win a game? Yeah, sure, they can win this game. Not convincingly. I mean, let's face it. I mean, even our kicker's hurt. Like, that's bad. But TJ Watt is an absolute freak, and he's changed the complexion of that entire team. Even though we're still that bad, like, he pretty much could have gifted us 14 points.
That
easily.
pick was nasty.
Easily 14 points. And he changes the whole complexion of that team when he's on the field. So, with that being said, Matt Ryan's not moving out of that pocket. I'll give a chance with TJ Watt. I'll give him a chance to strip and take it for a touchdown. Why not?
First pick goes Pittsburgh money line. I'm going to take the opposite from you here, Luke. I'm going to roll with the Colts team that beat Kansas City at home with the same Matt Ryan. I'm going to take the Colts team who has a better plus-minus differential at home. So I'm going to go Indianapolis to win and cover in this game. Going to go to you, Andrew.
This is such a goddamn show of a game to try to choose from.
100%.
But I'm gonna go with Luke. Honestly, I think the Steelers play a better offensive game, and Matt Ryan relies on chunk plays. But the thing is, you've got to be able to get that ball downfield from T.J. Watt, and I don't think that O-line in Indy is good enough to block him. And that pick last week was absolutely fucking redonkulous by T.J. Watt. So I'm gonna go with the Steelers to win.
Kenny.
Might do my taxes Monday.
Same.
Maybe take an ice cold shower. I don't know, something
Are you
more
guys,
enjoyable than watching this football game.
Are you guys calling it the game?
No, like there's way worse games. Just
check.
like I'd rather do anything else with my Monday night. I will take the Colts to win, but even 2.5 seems steep. So I'll take him to cover still because Mama didn't raise no coward. But yeah,
you're adding it to your parlay, huh? Alt spread -6.5.
No, that's
I don't know. I just thought you were going crazy.
No, because they don't have Defensive Player of the Year Matthew Judon on their team, so I can't go out of my way to pick them -6.5. It's just
that ends round 2 primetime pick'em. Let's go right into fire rounds. We're gonna zoom right into this after this
put
short
a hit
commercial
out on
break.
me. I'm convinced.
He absolutely is. I'm surprised it hasn't happened already.
Well, he's ahead of me in the standings.
Can't cross the border.
That's it. Round 3, fire round pick'em is where we're going, guys. We're gonna zoom right through these like Machine Gun Kelly. Here we go. Jets -4.5 versus the Bears. Kenny, who you got?
Come back to me.
Andrew.
Bears.
Luke.
Bears.
We are on a BCMG Guarantee watch. Kenny.
Give me the Jets, but it's because they have CJ Mosley, who has 22 more solo tackles than Matthew Judon.
Oh my gosh. Here we go. Dolphins 13-point favorites at home versus the Texans. Anybody going Houston this game, or can I skip this?
Good.
Yeah, next. But 13?
13 is a lot. 13 is a lot. Let's move on. Titans versus Bengals. Bengals 1.5-point favorites on the road, surprisingly, though. And I will start this one off with Andrew. Andrew, who do you have in this game?
Titans.
Titans money line to win there. That's the first one. Luke.
Derrick Henry's football team.
That is another Titans pick. We are on BCMG Guarantee watch alert. Kenny.
I'm narrowly taking the Titans in spite of the fact that Jeffrey Simmons has 6 less sacks than Matthew Judon.
Hold on. Is Jamar Chase officially active this week?
He's not playing.
Ain't no way that dude's playing.
No,
he's not playing.
Right?
All right, yeah, then Titans.
Titans at home too.
Put your fingers in the air and wave them like you just don't care. Titans money line has entered the parlay. Kenny's tabulating as we go here. And we move on to our next game, which takes us to Carolina. Sam Darnold making his season debut here in 2022.
This is mine.
Versus the Denver Broncos. 2.5-point favorites on the road in what ITL has also branded with just Luke as your snoozer of the week. That's right. Snoozer of the week. Panthers versus Broncos. Luke, start us off.
Not the audience watching.
Figured that one.
Man, this is so bad. Like, I don't want to pick Russ, and I don't want to pick. I assume Sam Darnold, you said, right, is probably starting this week.
That's correct.
What a battle.
Man. I got to where's it at? Is it in Denver?
Carolina.
Carolina.
In Carolina. Fuck, that makes it even worse. Denver.
Denver's the
they
first.
They got rid of Melvin Gordon. That was the problem.
Denver. There you go. There's a reason. Kenny.
So it's week 12, and Russell Wilson has 7 touchdown passes.
Goodness gracious.
He has more toilets in his house, correct?
That is correct.
I have 3.5 bathrooms in my house. The fact that we're at this point where he only has twice as many touchdowns as I have bathrooms in my home is tragic. Matthew Judon has more sacks than Russell Wilson has touchdowns.
Wow.
So give me the Broncos.
Broncos to win because there's more touchdowns than sacks compared to
That's
Matthew
a good
Judon.
thing for Judon. That wasn't even a shot at him. That was a shot at Russ.
I'm taking the Broncos to win this game because Carolina is that bad. Even though I do like them at home, play your Foremans, play your Moores. Andrew.
Don't do that.
$256 million for 7 touchdowns. Let's ride. Oh, fuck me. Let's go with the Broncos, man.
Hey, we have a BCMG guarantee. That's right. Put your fingers in there, wave them like you just don't care. Denver money line enters the parlay.
So, real quick, what do the Panthers do in the offseason?
Find a quarterback.
Like, for real. Like,
I think you got some.
Darnold needs a deal. Baker needs a deal.
You've got 3 untouchable. I think Deontay Foreman's played really, really well. I think you keep him, and I think you honestly keep Chuba. Those are the only 3 players.
I don't even think Chuba's that valued there.
Yeah, right. And you're really still looking for a head coach too.
Yeah.
Okay,
Next, Browns versus Bucks in a game where the Bucks are 3.5-point favorites on the road, and the Browns. Is this the return? This is not the return week of Deshaun, is it?
No, because they play Houston
next week. That's right. Next week. Okay. I'm taking Bucks to win this game off the bye week. Andrew.
Browns.
Kenny.
Tampa's going to score more points than Deshaun Watson has lawsuits, so give me Tampa.
Wow. Luke.
Was that actually correct? Might have been on the line, but so was he. Acting like I'm the villain here, like we're talking about Deshaun Watson.
Tom is 2-0 since getting divorced. He'll be 3-0 at the end of the weekend.
There you go. I like that. Tampa Bay picks all around except for Andrew. We're gonna go
on the fucking ball.
We're going to Washington. 4-point favorites against the surging Falcons as well. Both teams playing really well recently. I'll start this off with you, Kenny.
The Falcons have only won 2 of their last 5, so they're not surging. Give me the Commanders to win.
5 very close games. Thanks, Kenny. Andrew.
Matt. Everybody said that it's the purge.
Everybody okay?
Oh, can you hear that? Oh,
yeah.
That's the curfew alarm here.
Listen,
it's a little early, but there it is. That's a BCMG. I'm just kidding.
I do love me a story like Taylor Heineke, man. This guy is absolutely lights out. 5-1 as a starter since coming in. Give me the Commanders. The Falcons, no Pitts. It's going to be a disaster for Marcus Mariota.
Can't believe you backed the Commanders, considering the Falcons have the GOAT.
Chase Young is back this week, so there's that.
That's 3 Washington picks. Luke, it's on you. Are we guaranteeing this?
It's just crazy to me because I'm looking at Taylor Heineke's stat line so far this year.
It's not.
He's
great.
completing barely 60% of his passes.
It's
but
not
he's got an 82% passer rating.
But what's his clutch?
But he's winning games.
He's
And honestly, he's pissing me off because he's costing me money. So I'm gonna take the Commodores this week. So we'll see what he's about when the eyes of hearts is on you. We'll see.
Get those fingers in the air and wave them like you just don't care. Washington money line has entered the parlay. Everybody except for Kenny doing it. Eventually, Kenny will put his finger in there. I know it.
I'm not doing that for a division rival, you cowards.
There goes another game through the books. We have 5 more to go. Let's go Jaguars versus Ravens. Ravens 4-point favorites on the road. Jacksonville coming off a bye. Let's start this one off with myself. I'm taking the Ravens to win this game and win it handedly. I don't think Jacksonville, even off the bye, can compete with the Baltimore Ravens yet. Ravens to win on the road. Luke.
Fuck the Ratbirds. Okay. Like, Greg Roman, what are you doing with your life? Like, you have the best, can be the best quarterback. Like, fuck you, but fuck you, Jaguars. You're not good at football, so I'm going to take the Ravens. I'm going to take the Ratbirds. I hate Greg Roman. I will wear a shirt that says I hate Greg Roman. I will absolutely wear that shirt.
I mean, dude, if you would have told me last week that the Ratbirds would be at 3 points going into the fourth quarter against a terrible Carolina
Off the bye.
Off the bye. Looked terrible. But with that being said, they should beat the Jaguars, man. They should. I'm going to go with the Ratbirds. Fuck. I hate
Kenny.
Yeah, I feel like tumbling down the standings. Give me the Jags.
Oh my gosh, he's going all in this week. Kenny is feeling the vibe.
I mean, it was boring the last 2 years going wire to wire. I figured I might as well try and make it entertaining the second half of this season.
That makes complete sense. Let's take our talents over to the West Coast. Cardinals versus Chargers in a weekend where it's double XP. All right, Chargers, 4.5-point favorites on the road. Kenny, we'll start with you.
I probably should take the Chargers, who look like they're 3-7, but are somehow 5-5 coming into this game. So I'll take the Chargers.
I'm taking the Chargers as well. I'm hoping that Keenan Allen looks even more like himself. I think Mike Williams might be out another couple of weeks, though, for all y'all watching that. Andrew.
I said at the start of the year, Mike Williams is a break it or bust kind of guy, man. And he's just, again, injured again, man. And it's good that they got Keenan Allen back. He had a couple of good chunk plays. Herbert looked comfortable getting to it. Eckler's still a stud for fantasy. The Chargers should win against Colt McCoy's Cardinals. I'm just going to go that route. Chargers should win this.
3 Chargers picks. Luke?
I'm just done with the Chargers bullshit.
Same, man. They fucking way too much.
Like, I don't get it. Like, if we're seriously going to talk about this game, how can we not talk about Justin Herbert turning the ball over again in the fourth quarter, down with 2 timeouts, and you throw a terrible interception? I mean, absolute terrible interception to lose that game. If that's Patrick Mahomes, if that's Lamar Jackson, if that's like any one of these guys, we're crushing them in the media today. But no one has said anything about how bad of a turnover that was for Justin Herbert.
Triple cover.
Like it's just mind blowing. And the Cardinals are just exactly in the same spot. Like they're not playing for tomorrow. They're done. Like, call it a year, call it a day. Like, we're packing it in. We're done. No Kyler. Bye, Cliff. Retire JJ Watt. Call it a day.
If Cliff gets fired and Kyler is obviously flirting with this contract stuff, do you think D-Hop asks for a release?
No.
I don't think. It's just, I think he would stay because the way the Cardinals are going, they're losing games. I mean, you're going to have a new young head coach because we all know Cliff's going to Ole Miss. We know that. Cliff's going to go to Ole Miss.
He might be.
Joey Freshwater is going to go to Auburn and live his best life down there. You know that.
And
Matt, I don't know. I would take a waiver on somebody. It's just, I don't know. I don't think D-Hop would ask for that. He just got his money from bitching. Like, he just bitched his way into a new contract. So, like, I don't know how you could really talk yourself out of that unless you pull the Mike Thomas and be like, my ankle. My hammy. Like, but in the end, I think the Chargers win this game probably by 5.
I just want to say you spent like 5 minutes bitching about the Chargers.
I did.
All right.
Am I wrong, Ernest? Am I really wrong?
No, it's okay. This is the platform to do this. No, you're absolutely right. But with that being said, for those following along. That's right. BCMG Guarantee. We're going to move right along here. Seahawks -3.5 versus the Raiders. 3.5-point favorites at home. I'm taking Seahawks to win this and win it handedly. I don't think it's close. Probably like a 17-point win. Add to your parlay, Kenny. 15 points, -15. Kenny, who you have in this game?
I'm not adding that to any parlay. Give me the Raiders because they clearly love their head coach and think that he's very good at coaching football games. Because, they went from a playoff team to like a 3-win team. And if that's not success, I don't know what is. So give me the Raiders because it's fun.
Kenny's taking the Raiders for no reason at all. Andrew.
Like, I mean, where the fuck has that Raiders team been this whole year? Like, that overtime possession was it was beautiful, probably. I mean, the thing is, their success has really relied on Josh Jacobs. Like, if he's cooking
tips from Calvin Ridley.
he's been great, but the Seahawks at the same time they've been pretty average too. I mean, they've just been the benefit of a couple like close wins. But I think the Seahawks get it done. They're at home.
Off the bye.
Tough venue to play in, especially off the bye where Hawkett's going to be healthy. Metcalf's knee hopefully is a little bit better, and Kenneth Walker's an absolute beast. So yeah,
I hope he gets shuttles off again for a bad knee.
What a crazy concept. Maybe you just have to shoot that bad. But I'm gonna go with the Seahawks. They should win.
Luke.
Hawks, because Derek Carr cried last week and already won, so I'm gonna go Hawks.
There you go. I don't even know if I even have to touch his name.
Grow up.
I would take Devontae Adams anytime touchdown scorer, though.
Oh, yeah.
Minus
400.
Chiefs 14.5-point favorites against the Rams this week. Anybody even want to make a case for the Rams?
14.5.
No, I'll take Chiefs minus 20.5.
There you go. He's pushing that one there. Do we want to alt spread this in our parlay?
No.
All right, we're taking Chiefs.
We're not really tracking the parlay, are we?
I am. I'm putting it in this week. So Chiefs money line is taking on this, and okay, there's a little ring. Let's go to the final game of the week, round 3, the final segment, the final pick. Here it is: Niners 9-point favorites against the Saints at home in Sunday's final game. I'll start this one off with you, Kenny.
It's gonna take San Fran. Yeah, I don't know. They're still starting Andy Dalton. Taysom Hill keeps doing weird shit. So.
Andy Dalton was good last week, like really good.
I mean, yeah, but
don't talk about your cousin Taysom like that. Come on now.
I'm taking San Francisco as well. I'm taking San Francisco as well to win this game. Andrew.
Yeah, I'll take San Fran, but the Saints will keep it interesting. I think that -9's dog shit, but yeah, it'll be good.
And Luke, do you want to wrap this up?
Bang bang Niner gang. Christian McCaffrey stays healthy. He looks good. Man, in that offense. He looks good in that offense.
We have a really juicy parlay for this week. So good luck to everybody. It is definitely something. Let's go over and review it. BCMG Guarantee: Dallas -6.5, Buffalo -6.5, Minnesota -3, Philly -2.5, Miami, Tennessee, Washington, Chargers, Chiefs, and Niners money line. 6 money line games and 4 spreads. Guys, it was a pleasure, a wonderful and pleasurable night for all. Andrew, why don't you tell people where they can find you?
Yeah, you can find me at the Boomtown Pod on Twitter. You can follow us there on Instagram and on Facebook. We are coming back with season 3, December 5th will be our first episode. We got 4 brand new major sponsors for the podcast, so we'll be celebrating that. And yeah, shout out to our video editor, Mark, who's doing some behind the scenes stuff for a new video. And we got some great voice, Don Andrews, the voice of Palacefinas, and Unified MMA, who's going to be doing the intro as well. So big things happening over here. We're going into season 3 a little bit more aggressively, a little bit more content, more giveaways, more fun for everybody that's been listening for the past 3 years.
Thank you, Andrew Consutton, Matt, the Boomtown Pod. Go check out their content today. Definitely worth a listen. That brings over to Just Luke. Just Luke, tell people where they can find you.
Yep, you can find me on Twitter at KingOfHearts82. Just want to reiterate, guys, call someone. Like I said, especially in the United States, it's one of the biggest drinking days before a holiday. Be sure to get an Uber. I know when I first signed up for Uber that if you sign up with a new email, you get a first ride free.
Correct.
So
2 rides.
Or 2 rides. So honestly, take advantage of that. Even if you just, now I wouldn't condone this, but even if you just make an email and sign up for Uber. I've never done that before, but I'm just saying you get 2 free rides. So why not try to use it? Be safe. Make sure you don't take your life, somebody else's life, someone's family member. Remember that for sure. And number 2, like I said right at the beginning of the show, call 988. It will take you right to the suicide hotline. If you're feeling down, if you feel alone, please talk to somebody. Talk to a therapist. Talk to your parents, your loved ones, anybody. Just talk to somebody, especially during the holiday season. It's tough. We get down. We get lonely. I understand. I go through it too myself. We all do. Just make sure you call someone. Call a friend. Just call a friend. Just remember. Ernest, thank you. Appreciate it. Hope you enjoy the holidays with your family.
Oh, yeah.
And that's about it, bud.
Hope you American people, our friends over there, have a fantastic Thanksgiving celebration. And if Sheila is watching, I could go for a Shaquila sunrise.
Sheila. Oi.
Should have gotten Shaquila on the show. Kenny,
right.
Tell the people where they can find you.
Follow me at HedgePod. Watch my show Monday to Friday, or don't.
good.
Don't really care either way.
It's good.
Thank you for having me
Amazing.
on. Canada's going to win tomorrow, because why not? It's the World Cup, and it's the greatest sporting event on earth. Ernest,
Right
have
next
a
to
great
Matthew
Thanksgiving. Luke, have a Thanksgiving. No, obviously have a great
I'll try.
Thanksgiving,
I'll
Luke.
try to have a one.
And thanks for having me on, Ernest.
Absolutely. Thank you guys for joining us. And Until That Pod is where you're watching today. You can catch all of our great content daily, weekly, hourly if you watch the streamers. But we appreciate everybody watching tonight. All of you support us through the podcast. We appreciate all your downloads weekly, right? We've never been higher. We've never been better at interacting with all of you. So please continue your support. I hope everybody in the States has a happy Thanksgiving weekend. For those that follow us in Bali and all our European folks and everybody that's watching the World Cup, good luck to all your countries that are playing. And hope everybody has a great holiday weekend. Thanks, everybody.